大家好，我是 Jason Wang, 王凯杰。
I'm starting my journey through the world of Michelin-starred dining. I've got an appetite for learning about the culture of the countries I'll visit, using delicious foods and flavors to record my travels. Armed with my 5 senses, I want to take a closer look at how masterful chefs prepare the finest cuisine in the world. Come with me. Let's explore what it truly takes to create a Michelin star-worthy meal. Today, my food hunter Michelin journey continues on in beautiful Vienna, Austria. In 2019, the Michelin Guide recommended 93 establishments in Austria, and 19 of them were awarded stars. The starred restaurant I'm visiting today has a renowned head chef who has brought a fresh and innovative culinary point of view to the Austrian dining scene.
我今天在奥地利的维也纳来拜访一家 2 Michelin-starred restaurant Konstantin Filippou. The restaurant gets its name from the head chef, who has both heritage of Greek and Austrian roots, so his food combines elements of both. I've made a reservation for their tasting menu. I'm really excited to see what the food tastes like today. Why don't you come with me and we'll take a look. I'm really excited today to be here at restaurant Konstantin Filippou here in Vienna, Michelin 2-star restaurant. And looking at the menu here, it's quite interesting. We have an option of 你可以选 6 courses 或是8道菜，但是全部是一个套餐。What's particularly interesting is 这个套餐是每一个食材里头好像都是有水产、海产类的东西。Let's take a look. 水产里头也有鳗鱼，还有龙虾。因为 Austria is not bordered by any ocean, so 我其实蛮期待这个 menu. Let's take a look and see what this menu tastes like today.
In landlocked Austria, specializing in fish and seafood is definitely daring and creative. This cuisine direction is said to be due to the head chef's Greek heritage. This restaurant opened in 2013 and has been awarded 2 Michelin stars for consecutive years in 2018 and 2019. The Michelin Guide writes, "The elegant minimalist style interior in view of the kitchen. There's even a cooking station in the restaurant itself. Set the tone here at Konstantin Filippou. The food is creative and modern and comes with well-chosen wine recommendations. Personally, I adore seafood. Today, I'm selecting the 6-course tasting menu. I want to see how the chef combines his cultural background and his personality into his delicious cuisine."
Chef, thank you so much for having me today. Can you tell me a little bit about the menu that I'm going to be tasting today?
Our restaurant is focused mainly in fish.
Okay.
Of course, it's maybe not usual to cook Austrian fish, but we have very, very, very good freshwater fish. And of course, the Grecian Sea is very close to us. So we work with a lot of suppliers.
Okay, and I read a little bit about your background and knowing where you come from and where your parents are from. Is that why there's fish on the menu?
I grew up as a Mediterranean Austrian kid. So my father came in the 60s to study engineering in Graz. It's the 2nd biggest city in Austria. It was quite funny and for me very lucky that I always had that fusion on the table and always something Austrian and always something from Greece or from the sea or from the ocean. I'm very happy and lucky that I don't have to find my own cuisine.
Wonderful.
So I'm half Mediterranean, half Austrian, so that's why I cook like this.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Chef's Greek father loved seafood and his mother excelled with traditional Austrian food. So these 2 cuisines shared the table during Chef's childhood. Chef has reimagined the memories of his childhood taste buds, infused the feel of the Mediterranean into Vienna, and has joined everything together with the Greek spirit. Let's now enjoy this unique cultural fusion in our Michelin-starred meal.
Can you tell us a little bit about the first dish here?
It's crayfish, very good crayfish. It's with asparagus, with vinegar, and the topping is crispy rice.
Oh, crispy
Enjoy.
rice. 这一道菜我觉得很特别，因为它的摆盘就是很精致、很惊讶的米其林等级的餐厅，有的时候好像觉得分量就是很精致，为什么呢？因为就是我们一餐吃完 probably 有6道菜，不是要吃饱，而是要吃到 the entire journey of what the chef has brought us in all these different flavors. So let me taste this.
Enjoy.
There's a really nice salinity and also the acidity from the little vinegar. It's made into little caviar.
Yeah.
我觉得很特别，就是这个好像看起来是像鲑鱼卵，但是原来是 balsamic 醋。你如果 balsamic 醋就撒在上头，就是汤汤水水的，但是这样子就是一种不同的口感。
And the cool thing is that also when you go a little bit down, you have the asparagus.
Got there.
Maybe like shabamushi.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. These two textures works very well. But the most important thing is that this dish is not going to be too hot. Because the crayfish and the texture, when it's going to
too
overcooked, you don't have that nice texture of the crayfish.
And I think for me, a lot of texture is really fun in the mouth. I tend to like more acidic sour things. So for me, it's really nice to have that full acidity balance with the sweetness of the shellfish and the little crispy rice. Is rice a common ingredient in Viennese cuisine?
I grew up with rice, so we have a schnitzel with a lemon sauce and rice. When we create dishes, we always thinking also into what is the memories from the childhood. Rice was always on the table.
重要的就是主厨他的创意力，很多时候是从他小时候的概念，然后小时候的 memory，可以放在食物里头。I think that's really important. Oh, beautiful. And the plate itself looks very interesting.
It's a pike with black truffle, loads of like chanterelles and mushrooms, champignons, fermented, and on top like a dashi, hazelnuts, and a little bit of bone marrow.
Very rich in there, but light at the same time.
For me, it's very important in the menu that we are quite simple, let's say simple, but very rich and high in taste and textures. Textures are very important.
So I can use a...
Of course, whatever you want.
Whatever I want, I like that. First thing I noticed is the nice crispy skin. Thank you for that. What is the technique that you use for the cooking of the fish?
To be honest, we not salt the fish at all. So everything is very natural. The salt and everything comes from the sauce. And we just put some minutes the fish on skin. Glaze it with butter, and that's it.
我觉得很特别的就是刚吃一口鱼，你只吃到鱼的完全的很单纯的味道，所有的盐分是靠 sauce, and I think that's very interesting， 因为你真的是可以吃到食材里头的原味的甜味 ，and 它的 texture 是意面是蛮扎实的，但是也是很嫩，所以 I think 亚洲的这种 taste 我们会很喜欢。I happen to love mushrooms, and I noticed the flavor of all the mushrooms is very distinct, and they have their own personalities. Do you tend to use a lot of mushrooms in your cuisine, or is it just for this particular dish?
We use a lot of mushrooms, but we're totally a mushroom country. So July and August, we have a lot of chanterelles. We have different kind of mushrooms, so very proud of that. So when you grow up as a kid, one thing is for sure that you grow and pick mushrooms with your family, so go always in the woods. So it has to be on an Austrian, let's say Austrian menu.
From July through the autumn season, in countries all across Central Europe, you can virtually smell the aroma of wild mushrooms in the air. People are so in love with this special taste of the forest. Even though Chef Konstantin focuses on fish, he doesn't forget to utilize the best of local Austrian ingredients. Incorporating intensely flavored seasonal ingredients with Mediterranean elements is one of Chef's hallmarks. I'm told the next dish is a perfect representation of Chef's cuisine philosophy.
Oh, and what's our next dish? Again, I see a beautiful piece of fish here.
Of course, it's a salmon trout. It's chives oil and
the beautiful green.
Yes, here we have a full taste, of the memories of eating a fish soup with a glass of rosé.
Okay.
With an ocean view.
Yeah.
This is everything here inside.
Okay.
Underneath you have salmon trout caviar, cornichons.
And I think the plating for me is very interesting. Why did you choose this particular plate?
To be honest, I really liked lines and not
geometric.
Yeah, geometric things all the time. Everything else makes me very nervous. I'm a little bit a problem on that.
Okay. So 原来的主厨他很喜欢 geometric shape， 所以他选了这个摆盘的是 everything is 正正方方的，所以 everything is easily contained in here. And I think it's really nice because you're telling me there's lots of things in here, but they're all kind of hidden underneath. And
you see also here we work with layers and surprising. So you don't see it really, but the next bite you have it on your tongue and on your...
Okay. So I'm just going to try the sauce first. And I think the sauce for me is like a party in my mouth because there's the texture of the cornichon 有很多种不同的口感在里头混在一起，里头是鳟鱼卵。I'm curious. A lot of times when we think about this fish, which almost looks like salmon, people, I think in Asia, are more familiar with the salmon roe. And how come you chose to use specifically the trout roe?
Because in Austria, there's a big history doing salmon trout roe or trout roe or char roe.
Okay.
So we have that in our country. It's not an unusual thing. It's a very usual thing.
It's very usual.
And you see also, but the fish, it's still very raw inside. So we really like here also the texture.
The play of textures.
And when we serve all these plates, of course we explain the plates to the customers. But I really like also to not tell the people how to eat the plates.
Okay.
If nobody wants to explain you the dish, you really understand that.
Yeah.
And that's very important for me. For us, simplicity
is let it speak for itself.
Yeah.
这种的鱼特殊就是可以半熟半生的吃，这样子吃的有不同种的层次的口感，而且 the flavor of the fully cooked fish and the slightly rare fish, you just get really nice layers of flavors.
The salmon trout is crispy on the outside and meltingly tender on the inside. The textures are achieved with a perfect cook of medium rare. The fish's perfection paired with the contrasting acidic sauce and the sweet pops of trout roe. From the plating, you can see that Chef Konstantin embraces a minimalist aesthetic. His cuisine is both elegant and exquisite. What variety of fish is next on our menu?
A little treasure box. Thank you. I see foam.
Of course.
I see something crunchy maybe on top. And this dish is?
We have eel here inside.
Oh, okay.
Smoked eel. We smoke the eel by ourselves. We have also a lot of eels here.
Okay.
And what we use here in Austria, of course, is a lot of pork. We have one particular pork that we are very proud of. Okay. It's Mangalitsa pork.
Mangalitsa, oh, with the curly hair.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, we have also a lot of goose. Mm-hmm. So here you have eel, you have Mangalitsa, and goose foam, goose liver foam. A little bit of mustard seeds, and fennel.
这一道菜里头是用到3个很经典的食材 from Viennese cuisine， 有鹅肝，还有 Mangalitsa, 还有鳗鱼. So I think it's really interesting how you've transformed all these different things, because usually when we think of goose liver, you think of like a pate presentation or like a seared presentation, so foam. So I'm gonna taste this. Am I supposed to use a spoon? I don't know.
Whatever you want, it works.
主厨的 philosophy 也是 你如果要用刀叉，你就用刀叉；你如果要用调羹，then you use 调羹。他觉得你自己的 experience with 他的食物是你自己的 personal journey， 所以他说随性。
The crispy of the pork skin, then you have the seeds of the mustard between, and then the nice texture of the eel. I think the flavors works very well together. What do you think?
I think it's a lovely combination of the texture. It's full flavors, but it's not heavy at the same time. 鳗鱼是有熏过，所以不光是鳗鱼的很结实的肉的这种体质，但是有一种熏味的adds another layer of flavor. And 最主要的就是有一粒一粒小颗的 mustard seeds 芥末籽 So when it pops in your mouth, it just gives you a really refreshing, lovely
and always
taste.
Surprising. Yeah. Here is something, and there, and you find always something. You know?
I think 很重要，也就是讲到米其林餐厅里头的摆盘。Chef, I'm curious, when you design a dish, how do you decide plate or dish it's gonna go in? What's the process for that?
We try every plate that we have.
Okay.
And which is the best plate to taste.
Okay.
Not every plate works very well with the warmness of the plate,
Sure.
The foam, the liquid.
Okay.
But when we're going to produce plates or new plates, we have some samples.
Okay.
Like just a bowl, for example. Then we try the bowl, and then we go on the design.
We want some,
And then we pick maybe one ingredient like the mushroom salad or the shape that
and we
it
want
works
to go in that direction.
Perfect. So that the frame of the picture it's on spot and it's on point.
The job of Michelin-starred chefs isn't easy. For any dish, they not only need to source and maintain the best quality ingredients, but they also have to balance flavors and textures and come up with creative presentations for plating. It's a lot to take on. Chef Konstantin says it can take up to 2 months of trials and testing to come up with a new dish that meets his standards for Michelin dining.
I see a crustacean.
Yes.
A lobster. So can you tell us about this dish, please, Chef?
You know, we have a very, very old traditional dish called borscht.
Okay.
You cook a sauce, can make it from veal, for example, as we did here. And in the real borscht, you can use heart,
tongue,
all four things.
Okay, sure.
Here we use only calf tongue.
Okay.
And the sauce is with lemon, chives, anchovies. Very, very traditional, this dish.
Okay.
When you eat the sauce, you have this
memories
of the borscht, and then we top it with a nice crustacean langoustine from Croatia.
Okay.
On top we have some lemon, breadcrumbs, and some algae. Crispy algae, they look like honeycomb.
This is the algae, you say?
This is the algae, yes.
所以这种很小的，好像蜂窝的这种形状，是一种 algae 一种海带的，炸过然后会蓬起来，然后也是脆的，所以它主厨也在想办法，就是每一个不同的种的 ingredient，how can you transform the texture? How can you layer the flavors on top of each other so they all go well together? So I'm gonna dig in here and have a taste. 这种龙虾的 texture 不是你通常会想到的很脆的像虾那样子 QQ 的 texture， 而是很软 very kind of creamy taste from the inside， 就是很甜很鲜甜的这种味道。难怪这种 texture 它是想搭配到一些脆的东西。如果这种龙虾煮太过，它的 texture 反而变成太硬了，然后不能吸收这个很软的这种 sauce。因为原来这种 sauce 是配好像是面疙瘩类的东西，所以它也是有点模仿原来的 texture of the two 元素在里头。更特别就是它的自己的 personal philosophy 是用肉不是当主食，而是一种condiment or flavoring。通常这种是传统是用内脏类的，但是它是用舌头 veal tongue 里头切得很碎的，所以给它 an element of that richness of that tradition, but also a more kind of updated fresh version， 因为里头有加柠檬。
Apart from using seafood and fish as main proteins, another concept unique to Chef Konstantin's cuisine is using meat in a supporting role for added depth of flavor. Like in our second dish, pike perch with bone marrow, and the foie gras from the fourth dish, the meat elements aren't the focus, but instead add a savory richness to the main star of each dish. This is an innovative approach worth noting.
Strawberry, 草莓
So it's a strawberry vanilla rose dessert.
Okay.
So have different kind of textures of the strawberry.
Okay.
We have is the Mitte Schindler strawberry.
Schindler.
It's a very strong taste of the strawberry, and you cannot keep the strawberry very long. So in about 4 days it starts to ferment already. So if we get that from the farmer, we take it and make a puree, and then we keep it for the whole winter. So you have that. You have the rose. You have different kind of textures of the strawberry, the crisp, and some basil. The rose reminds me a lot of Greece in desserts.
最主要我也想讲一下，就是米其林的摆盘一定是有方向的。服务人员来的时候，他们就是很正确的，就是有一个某种角度。So it's not going to be presented to me like that. No. Okay, 你看。So let me take a taste of here.
And one ingredient I forgot is also that we have some yogurt underneath. Also the Greek ingredient with the rose.
Okay.
So the strawberry flavor is
very
intense.
And then you get that kind of rose aftertaste. 所以我觉得主厨很聪明，因为这个 flavor of the 草莓是很单纯的。It's a very, very rich aromatic flavor, but once the strawberry flavor ends, you have the 玫瑰味道。It's a clever way to kind of extend the feeling of that flavor. 然后外面的这个草莓是很液体类的，但是底下还有 yogurt， 所以是比较稠的。然后上面的 freeze dried 又是脆的，然后这个一片叶子好像是9层塔，所以给一种 very very fresh brightness。一个 spoonful 里头有 probably 5种不同种的口感 and the flavor。一点酸的，一点甜的，香喷喷的从 the basil and the strawberry， 还有玫瑰 and the sourness from the yogurt. It's a really lovely combination.
This has been a stellar Michelin feast. In the 6 dishes I enjoyed, I've not only sampled tastes of the classic Austrian tradition, but also the Mediterranean flavor of Greece, and most importantly, the chef's personality and creativity. I don't know if you also get the sense that these dishes seem to have some elements of Japanese cuisine. In recent years, the influence of Japanese cuisine has continued to spread throughout Europe. Many Michelin chefs have incorporated some of these techniques and flavors in their creations, just like the pike perch dish served with the light dashi sauce. Many thanks to Chef Konstantin for taking me on such a wonderful journey for my taste buds and senses. I'm not rushing to say goodbye just now, since in a little while, Chef wants to send me off personally with a final little taste of Vienna. But while he's prepping the ingredients, I'm gonna take a stroll around to experience some more of Vienna's sights and sounds.
As many of you know, wherever I go to travel, my favorite thing is to look at the traditional open markets. Why? Just because you get a really good sense of what people like to eat and the cultural influences and what everyday people are doing to buy their food. 我们今天来的是维也纳的 Nash Market， 是算他们的传统市场，但是是跟我们想象的传统市场有一点不一样，因为他们不光是有卖香料啊、甜点，还有面包，他们还有小的摊子，就是小餐厅，你可以进去吃东西。所以我们今天来这边，我们去找一下有什么特别的好吃的东西。
The Naschmarkt is the oldest and largest traditional marketplace in Vienna. It opened here about 240 years ago, around 1780. At first, dairy products were mainly sold here, but over time, fruits, vegetables, meats, and fish joined the offerings here. This extensive market is a perfect microcosm of everyday life in Vienna.
And 我们第一家来的就是一个水果蔬菜店 ，and if you can take a look， 各种各样的东西都摆得好漂亮。And over here there's 无花果 and there's 桃子 and 李子。在欧洲，他们摆的就是很注重的 presentation， 一盒一盒一盒的，然后青菜都料理的very very very nicely in ordered fashion。 所以我们现在这边看到的这一堆东西都是算是 root vegetable， 是在土里长的这种东西。这边是中欧 and 欧洲是很常吃的这种 ，especially 秋天的时候来了，他们收产所有这些东西。所以有些是变成淀粉类的东西，有些是可以煮汤的。and 这个也许朋友们没有看过，是 black radish， 是黑的萝卜。and 这个我最爱用的 ，it's a celery root, celeriac，and the celery actually grows out of the top here。这种 celery 是吃比较是给香味的，煮汤可以丢进去的。但是我们主要的这个植物是吃这个根，然后里头你切开来白白的，有一点像个 potato 一样，所以煮的时候到时候会有一种 potato 香味，可以吸收不同种的口味，所以放在汤里头很好吃。and 尤其是秋天 ，I think it's 很值得 mentioning， 你会看到这些不同种的菌类的东西，这是野的香菇，这是 chanterelles， 然后这个是很特别的 mushroom， 这个鲜味是very very special。所以意大利也有用到这个，但是维也纳，然后德国这个是算是很高贵的这种mushroom。
Do you remember the mushrooms we just had? These are it. Austria really is a country crazy about its mushrooms, and here you can find the vendors selling all sorts collected wild from the forest. This celeriac we've also tasted before in dishes along our Michelin journey. Do you remember the thin circular white rounds? Well, that was it. Michelin chefs are true magicians. Ordinary ingredients pass through their hands and transform into elegant, refined culinary masterpieces.
还有一样很值得跟大家介绍一下，就是当季，因为是 end of summertime into 秋天，就会有这种很漂亮的李子。So these kind of plums， 通常 maybe 李子我们想到是这个颜色，但是在欧洲 and 维也纳 and 匈牙利，然后这边的国家这种的黄色的很漂亮，很好吃，很甜，水分很足。So something yummy to eat.
In the Naschmarkt, in addition to local fruits from Central Europe, you can nowadays find many imported tropical fruits. In the past 20 or so years, the Naschmarkt has gradually transformed into a marketplace with a strong international influence and flavor.
我在这边逛，我发现有很多不同种的饮食 and delicious foods， 有很多不同国家的元素在这边。And if you take a look here， 这个都是橄榄。各国的橄榄都在这边 ，is Italian, here's Greek, olive。很多人不知道，就是生的橄榄不能吃，不能直接吃，太涩，所以完全是要处理过。然后处理的方法都有一点不一样，有是用盐去腌制过，有些是用一点油渍。So anyways, all the flavor and the taste are different. So 你看有大的这种绿的一颗一颗的，还有这种比较腌制久一点的这种黑的，然后还有这种是 Greek style 希腊 style， 这种是会比较酸一点的 ，and 还有一些是有蒜头在里头，然后这个还有里头有辣椒，所以每一个就是味道跟口感都是有一点不一样的。I see one more thing over here， 你看，好甜蜜的东西都有蜜蜂在这边 buzzing around。这个是中东 Middle Eastern 土耳其 style 的甜品，你会觉得 maybe 很奇怪，为什么在维也纳会有土耳其的这些东西？但是不要忘记。最早以前 ，it was the Ottoman Austro-Hungarian Empire， 所以很多土耳其的这种的食物的元素都有再加在 Hungarian cuisine， 然后后来传到 Austria 来这边。这边的甜品有两个 two big categories， 一个是用这个面皮，然后另外一种是用这种的一丝一丝，等于是有一点像粉丝类的。然后通常两个都是用 butter 涂，所以到时候烤的时候酥酥的。然后最主要是中间加的心都是用坚果类的，因为中东就是坚果，开心果啊、核桃仁啊很丰盛。然后有些会加 maybe 玫瑰花水啊，外面是变成很酥酥脆脆的，但是他们还会加一点糖浆类的，通常会有加蜜，所以 all these 蜜蜂都在这边也想吃这个东西。
Taking a walk through the traditional market isn't just for discovering local folks' favorite tastes and products. It's also the perfect chance to understand the evolution of a culture through its food. To me, food is just like an alternative history lesson, bursting with lots of knowledge and fun. After visiting the Naschmarkt, I'm in the mood to sample a traditional Viennese dish with a very limited season. I'm really lucky to be here just at the right time of year.
In Austrian cuisine, there's a really traditional special dish that you can only have at certain times of the year. And we're in autumn, and between the months of October and November, there was a beautiful roast goose called Martini Gänse that I definitely want to try. So I found a beautiful restaurant where this is their signature dish. Let's go in and taste it. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Wie geht es Ihnen?
Sehr gut.
Jason Wang, nice to meet you.
I'm Christian, nice to meet you.
I'm delighted to be here because I hear you have a wonderful roast goose dish that I'd love to try.
So you will sit down, please.
Okay, thank you. 我们现在在 Rudy's Basil, 一种很传统的 traditional basil, which has lots of seats that are near together. If you take a look, it's a very warm, cozy atmosphere where people can tuck into some really traditional, heartwarming dishes from the Viennese tradition. So let's have a look at what's here today.
Filled with warm decorations and elegant light blue tones, this is a typical Austrian restaurant where traditional home-style dishes are served. Beloved by die-hard foodies, the Martini Gänse here is considered to be the best in Vienna. It comes on the menu at the start of every October, but you have to order it well in advance, not just due to its popularity, but because it takes a long time to prepare.
Hello, Chef. Hello.
Jason.
Yes.
You want to come with me to the kitchen, and we will look at my goose for you.
I can go to the kitchen.
Yes,
with you?
I have seen
Are
you
sure?
in the TV show. now we go together.
Oh wow! Okay.
Come on.
Thank you. Wow. It's 真的很难得有机会跟 Chef Christian to be inside the kitchen to learn how to make this beautiful goose dish. So all the ingredients are here. Let's take a look at how we make this dish. Beautiful goose.
Yes, we will eat together later.
Okay, we're gonna eat this one.
We make it now.
So
a little bit of salt.
Salt, okay.
Okay. Inside too.
Okay.
And then Spezialgewürz.
Spezial, so
Special with majoran and kümmel and onion and ingwer and pepper.
So 这个 special spice mixture 是它的 secret mix， 然后也有 caraway seeds and ginger， 然后不同种的香料都混在这里头。So this gives us a really nice flavor on the inside.
Okay. And so you make like a
kind
massage,
of
with the goose.
还要按摩一下，让它的味道真的 penetrate.
You can practice for your home.
Okay.
So, and now...
Oh, an apple.
Yes, and I put it inside.
观众朋友们，告诉你一下，这是很特别的苹果。苹果为什么会要放在 goose 里头？因为是给它一种很 special的 fragrance， 还有很 special 的这种 moisture 在里头。有的时候亚洲菜里头也会混一些梨或苹果跟烤肉的东西 ，so 也是加 moisture, flavor, and also a beautiful fragrance as it's roasting in there. So apples, amazing.
Apples inside.
What kind of apples? Always green apple? Or?
Green apple, not so sweet.
Okay. So chef, why do we use the apple whole, the whole apple without cutting it?
It's because the goose is inside like 3 hours.
Okay.
And when you cut the apple, you have
mushy.
yes. Exactly.
Okay. Is it always apple or why not orange?
It's your fantasy. I make apple because it's good with the goose, but you can
it's
do
a traditional.
Yes,
apple
traditional.
Okay. So we stick it in there.
So, and now we go inside in the oven.
In the oven. Okay. So here we have this beautiful roasting pan. Wow.
And,
it's a heavy. It's
yes.
very heavy. Okay.
You can open for me, please.
Here we go. You said it cooks for 3 hours?
Yes.
所以现在才了解它是要干烤，所以苹果真的是要完整的来在里头，所以给它一些湿度 moisture. Yes.
You can sit here.
145. Okay. And then
2 hours.
2 hours.
And
okay.
then I look.
Chef Christian says to keep an eye on the goose while it's roasting. 3 hours of cooking is generally the perfect length of time. The Festival of St. Martin's Day takes place on November 11th of each year, so Austrians will eat roast goose to celebrate. Martini Gänse has become a treasured seasonal dish you can only eat in autumn.
I'm really excited to finally taste the delicious goose dish here. So can you tell me a little bit about what is served with the goose? I saw the apple, I see the goose,
and here you have the white kraut, a little bit sweet.
Okay.
With wine and butter.
然后这里有酒，
very
然后
good.
butter 在里头。
And this is rotkraut.
Rotkraut.
It's with apple and
苹果里头，然后是包心菜。
and red wine.
And what are
And
these?
this semmelknödel.
Knödel.
This is the semmelknödel with bread, white bread, with eggs and milk.
所以这个是很特别，是一种 dumpling， 就是水煮的，在汤里头煮的，等于是像面疙瘩类的，但是它是用这种有面包在里头，然后有两种 bread, potato, and traditional is to eat this with this all
This together with the sauce.
Okay, so I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
This is it's a big
It's a
portion.
big one. It's a big one.
所以这个不是一个很小小的 portion， 你看这么大一个 ，and 很嫩很嫩，你看这样子，哇、wow 烤了3个多小时 ，it looks very very tender. And the apple, so typically you can eat the apple with it. Okay.
Typically you can eat the apple.
Okay. The goose has a very, very rich flavor. It's been cooking a long time. It's very tender. For me, the flavor here is really rich and complex, and it's a lovely, full spiced flavor. The apple in there really gives a nice fragrance in here.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna cut into this, and people can see. The whole thing is right here as well. It's soft, but it's still holding its shape.
Yes.
It's a very sweet, kind of rich, fragrant apple smell here, and melt in your mouth. 通常这个2个是腌制的包心菜，为什么是跟这个配？因为这样子对消化力很好，而且有点酸度，所以酸度配这个甜的，还有这种很鲜的这种goose flavor that's been roasted a long time is a wonderful combination. And I'm gonna try the knödeln. And if you take a look here, it's beautiful, the texture on the inside here, and the dumpling has a lovely fluffy texture. It's firm but also tender at the same time, and it has a nice fresh, clean aroma taste, and it's a perfect
It's
combination.
good combination with the sauce.
It's wonderful. I love it. A little bit of sour, a little bit sweet,
Yes.
And of course, I'm just gonna have a little bit more of this beautiful goose. And you can see the color on the skin is just fabulous. And you were saying before, all the drippings and stuff go into this beautiful sauce that we have here. Goose 烤的时候，所有的那些滴滴答答的那些汤汁没有浪费到，全部都是放在这个 beautiful sauce 里头。所以你吃的 goose 的时候，也搭配上 goose 的这种鲜味 ，and all 的那些香料全部都在里头。It makes a 很丰满的一个 bite.
I'm sure that Asian folks would adore this martini Gänsehl. But why eat roast goose for St. Martin's Day? Well, the story goes that Martin tried to escape from the masses and becoming a bishop, and ended up hiding in a goose shed. The geese kept making noise, and eventually he was discovered. Punishment for this group of geese ended up being they were roasted and served as a delicious meal. After enjoying the martini Gänsehl, I head back again to meet with Chef Konstantin. He's ready to share my parting gift, a dish he wants to leave me with as a taste of Vienna.
So we are here with Chef Konstantin Filippou in his restaurant, and I feel kind of very honored to be here in your kitchen, which is a very sacred space.
First of all, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's not so secret, you know, and we really like good chefs,
Thank
you know.
Thank you. You're gonna teach me and show us a wonderful dish that you've come up with that features caviar, and I see fish. So can you tell us, Chef, about this particular dish?
It's a signature dish. I do that already, let's say, 10 years.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's always on the menu.
Okay.
The ingredients are just fish,
Okay.
potatoes, olive oil, and caviar.
So less is more again. Simple.
Of course,
yes.
of course. Many people maybe know that from Spain.
Okay.
We do like a bacalhau,
So,
but we do a version with Austrian fish.
fish. Okay.
Like we do it with a carp. So we salt the carp,
Okay.
like a couple of days.
Okay.
It depends how thick or thin is the carp.
So we have, this is the salted already.
This is already the salted,
Okay.
but we salt it and then we put it in the water for 2 days
Okay.
after 3 days. It depends how thick or thin is it.
Okay.
So here,
Oh.
Yeah.
And it has that great kind of preserved texture.
Yes,
of,
yes.
So 你看里头就是水分都已经跑出来了，就变成这样子，就是很结实。
and then cooked it in a stock. It's of course cream.
Okay.
Yeah, not a fatty one.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the potatoes already.
OK， 所以里头是鲜奶油，还有马铃薯。OK。
Thyme.
Thyme 香料 smells great.
Yeah, garlic.
Garlic 蒜。
And vermouth.
Vermouth. 一种酒。
Yeah.
Yes.
Put the fish inside. Not cook it too much. At low temperature. And then you put it on side.
所以低温度，然后让它的水分被吸进去，用的鲜奶油 ，and all the flavor gets in there, and it's nice gently cooked， 就是很温和的一种烹饪方法。
Now all from the potatoes and from the fish, all the starch is inside.
Okay.
So you have a stock that we put after that. We strain it from
Sure.
the garlic and everything. When we put it in a siphon.
OK，
Yeah.
所以很特别是里头的这个 liquid stock， 因为有很多不同的淀粉类 ，from the potato， 还有鱼里头的胶质类，它就把它放在这个是等于是喷枪里头，可以把它做成一种 foam。Yeah. So.
And the fish and the potatoes, we chop very thin, and the potatoes we put it through
Like
the
a rice.
press.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have that.
OK，
Okay.
所以这个是里头的 potato， 然后鱼它打碎，然后用机器压过去，然后就变成这个很漂亮的泥，就是 potato and fish mixed together。
So if you be so kind, you can
Okay.
mix it.
OK，
Mix it. So we mix it up, and now you see it's a puree, and
Yes.
we put, of course, a Greek olive oil from my father's
Greek
home,
olive oil， 哦
from Kalamata.
所以这个橄榄油它加的是他们家在希腊 Kalamata， 是他们自己产的，所以
So,
这个香味就是从他家乡来的东西。
and now you see it's gonna be like, you know, a
very
very nice
rich, yes.
puree. And when it started, you see the bottom, yeah, from the pan.
Yep, starting
Yeah?
to- okay.
A little bit more, please.
OK，
And of course, always, you know, vinegar or lemon.
Okay.
Loads of lemon.
一直是加醋或是加一点柠檬 ，Yep, some acid.
Perfect.
OK，
It's amazing. Just put it here.
OK。
We start now to plate.
And this is a beautiful plate again. I
yeah.
expect that from all your dishes here at the
Of
restaurant.
course.
你看他们的盘子多漂亮，像一朵花一样。
So now
Okay.
we put the foam, not too much, you see.
Oh, the beautiful. The texture looks amazing.
Yeah. If you want, you can do like a small
canal,
canal,
okay.
like, yeah. Yes, perfect. Just easy and smooth in the middle.
In the middle.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
So,
And where is this caviar from?
this caviar is from Salzburg. You know where is
Oh,
Salzburg?
Salzburg. Okay.
Yeah. We're very proud that I have one guy, he's doing a very good caviar in Salzburg.
Okay. 所以这个是奥地利的鱼子酱 caviar， 所以是 locally.
The canal is on top, the
Yes.
caviar.
Okay.
You did a
Beautiful
very good
caviar.
job.
Thank you.
And I really like that you try the dish. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just curious. A lot of people don't know. Why do you use this special spoon for caviar in general?
Do you know that?
Well, I know that, but the
But-
audience doesn't know.
but
Yeah.
tell me.
Okay. Caviar 通常是不是用铁的 spoon？因为 aluminum 或是 metal 或是不同的 steel 里头会有东西会 interact with the caviar， 然后破坏它的 natural flavor。所以很多次你看到 caviar， 通常是用一直是horn 或是 shell 里头做的 spoon， 所以很多人不知道。
He is right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you. 他也会讲中文，太棒了。Beautiful dish, beautiful presentation, and your signature dishes.
I'm looking forward what you're thinking about.
So get a little
Yeah.
bit of everything. Okay.
I have to try too,
Please, yes.
because it's so good, I think.
Eating's always better with two people.
The lemon, the fish. I really like this.
The caviar, you get the little pops, the little brininess, but the sweetness is balanced by that beautiful, rich potato flavor and that seafood richness from the fish in there, and just the velvety, very smooth texture you get there, but it's not thin. It has that nice full richness, unctuous kind of mouthfeel from the foam and also the actual puree itself. And
Thank you.
It's stunning.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Stunning. Thank you so much again for having me at your restaurant as a guest, and just to learn a little bit about something kind of traditional interpreted through your own lens, and such humble ingredients mixed with luxury ingredients. And I think it tells a really amazing story about you and where we are, and I will remember this for a long time.
Thank you so much, yes. It's a big honor for us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Now I know why Chef wanted to make me this dish. The umami of the Austrian caviar, the creaminess of the traditional ingredients of carp and potato, and the fragrance of Greek olive oil from Chef's hometown come together to create a warm and heartfelt taste of Vienna. Thank you again, Chef Konstantin. The memory of Vienna's elegant tastes lingers on in my taste buds. In our next episode, we visit a Michelin one-star restaurant specializing in vegetarian cuisine. Did you know that there are only 4 Michelin-starred vegetarian restaurants in the entire world? And this restaurant's head chef is a celebrity around here.